Your actions have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to Hitman 3 and the featured contracts. And today's contract, the power issue, set in Santa Fortuna. So today's briefing: in order to power the submarine, Rico Delgado wants to extract more electricity from the area. However, there are people who refuse to let go of their electricity because it's a hot day in Colombia. And today's contract has been supplied to us courtesy of MK Solas. So today we have 4 targets available to us. 1 must be killed in an accident fire, 1 must be killed in just an accident, the other 2 we can dispatch any way we see fit, and we must not be recorded by any cameras, which will be somewhat easy to achieve. So for this challenge we will be starting undercover in the mansion basement. We're going to bring with us a remote igmatic gas grenade in a briefcase out in the fields, and we're going to bring with us 2 lethal syringes. So right from the start and off the bat, if you do not have 2 lethal syringes, 1 will do. You can just shoot the other target if you wish. So we're going to make our way into the subterranean or the basement level of the mansion here, and we're going to use a bit of our time at the start. We're going to take out the surveillance system, so we're just going to wait for the enforcer guard you can see there on the right to move away, and when he does we can make our way into the forger's room. And again, in here we are going to have to wait around for a little while. The guard will remain where he is with his back to us, but the forger will be moving around. Now we need him to also have his back to us so that we can access the camera surveillance system and disable it manually. Usually I like to shoot these things, but we're going to have to do this as quietly as possible. So once the forger leaves this corner of the room, right next to where the surveillance system is, you can just see it there on the right, he will then make his way back into the other corner and have his back to us. It's at this point we can then take out the surveillance system nice and casually. So when he moves away, he will now go and stand somewhere with his back to us for a few seconds, giving us just a few seconds to disable the camera system and move away. Before we exit the room, we're once again going to wait for the patrolling enforcer just outside the door to finish his conversation, and he will then move off to the left, and we can then exit the room and move off to our right and begin. So that's just to take care of the cameras because they will come into effect later on. So our next stop now will be the coca fields. We're going to go through the building, out the museum bathroom window. Just be aware of Rico's wife, who is an enforcer and does frequent that area. If she's around, just wait for her to leave. So we're going to head out through the back of the mansion, underneath the tunnel, out to the coca fields, and our first target, who is the helicopter pilot waiting in Franco's little office here. So we're going to turn off the air conditioning unit, we're going to turn it back on again, and for me I'm going to select the first of my lethal syringes. If you only have the 1 syringe, I recommend running up behind this guy when he comes to investigate, breaking his neck and hiding him in the dumpster. But we are going to inject him as we have 2 lethal syringes. So once he's down, we're going to make our way into the shed just off to our right, collect up our gas grenade. We're going to remove it from the briefcase and then replace it into the briefcase. That way it is active. We're going to head now back through the mansion area because we won't be trespassing through here. Again, being aware of Mrs. Delgado's location. She's not currently around once again, so we can head over to the front of the mansion grounds, and just in the little security hut here we will find our second target. So once again, just like we did with the first target, we're going to turn off the air conditioning, turn it back on again. That will attract the attention of our target, and if you only have the one lethal poison, this is the one you want to use it on, as his body will be found a short while later. So once our target comes out of the security room to investigate, we can get behind him, jab him with our needle and leave. You'll notice I'm not really hanging around for the kills here. I am trying to get through this one rather quickly. So we're going to make our way straight out the front of the mansion, and we are now heading for the petrol station or gas station and the mechanics area, where we will encounter our next two targets, or one target. I can't quite remember now. I believe it is only the one target in this area actually, but we are going to knock someone out, and that will be the mechanic's wife, who is just sitting down over there. So eventually she will come and lean over the railings here, make sure that the mechanic isn't looking this way. We're going to render her unconscious, and we're going to hide her in the bushes here as quickly and as quietly as possible. We want to get her nicely tucked up, because that fire barrel there is going to be our next kill item. So where is, there's my briefcase. We'll have that back, thank you. We're not done with you yet. So inside the grocery shop of the petrol station here is our next target, and again we're just going to turn off the fuse box, turn it back on again, and when our target comes out to investigate, we can then render him unconscious. Again, being very much aware of the mechanic, make sure that his back is turned when we do this. Not necessarily the knockout, but we are going to drag our target over to the fire barrel. So at this point we want to be aware of where the mechanic is. His vision is blocked from us, so we're just going to drag the target over to the fire barrel, pull out our silenced pistol, take a couple of shots at the barrel. His body will be discovered almost immediately. We're just going to now pray that we've hidden the mechanic's wife deep enough in those bushes that she is not also found. So that is three of our targets down, with one more to go, and our final target is the barman at the village bar. Now this is where things encounter a small hiccup for me. So we're going to select our remote gas grenade detonator, make our way down into the village bar. Now when I practiced this, the barman came and stood right at this edge of the bar, right by that fan the gentleman stood next to, and I was able to trigger the gas grenade right next to him, and he went and got sick. Now this time round that gentleman is there, so I can't trigger the gas grenade. Now eventually this works out in my favour, because after waiting around for a few minutes trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I fell back on the old tradition of using the fuse box on the outside of the bar. That's where I make the decision there. We're going to head round to the outside of the bar and trigger the fuse box. Now as I said, this works out slightly better, because when you trigger the gas grenade, it kind of glitches, and where you've triggered the gas grenade, someone will see a phantom weapon and always go and get a guard, and that guard usually gets trapped in some sort of glitch and doesn't always move off. So triggering the gas grenade out here means that no one will suspect that there's a phantom gun on the floor. So when the bartender comes out to investigate the fuse box, we can just get behind him, trigger the gas grenade. He will not give any indication that he is feeling ill, because he was in the middle of a routine already. So he will just casually walk to the bathroom, not looking very sick, not triggering very much of a response. But he is going to be sick and does go to the bathroom, so we can then eliminate him. So that's all of our targets taken care of. We're going to take the nearest available safe exit. There are two exits in this area, the moped and the bike. The moped requires a key, which we do not have, so we are going to take the boat exit, not the bike exit, which is the easier and simpler of the two. So there we go, one more featured contract taken care of. Relatively easy one, just a fair bit of waiting around. So confirmation there that everything was done according to the rules, and we have succeeded in getting a Silent Assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.